Friends, how are you? Let us discuss about the short story of Guy de Maupassant. It is a very famous short story, the name of which is The Neckless by Guy de Maupassant. So this is the story of a woman named Mathilda Louisel is a pretty and charming, but feels she has been born into a family of unfavorable economic status. She was married off to a lowly clerk in the Ministry of Education who can afford to provide her only with a modest, though not uncomfortable lifestyle. Matilda feels the burden of her poverty intensely. She regrets her lot in life and spends endless hours imagining a more extravagant existence, while her husband expresses his pleasure at the small, modest super she has prepared for existence. Uh, uh, she dreams of an elaborate feast served on fancy china and eaten in the company of wealthy friends. She possesses no fancy jewels or clothing, yet these are the only things she lives for. Without them, she feels she is not desirable. She has only wealthy friend, Madame Fossier, but refuses to visit her because of the heartbreak it brings her. What happened one night? Her husband returns home proudly bearing an invitation to a formal party hosted by Ministry of Education. He hopes that Matilda will be thrilled with a chance to attend an event of this sort, but she is instantly angry and begins to cry. Though her tears, she tells him she has nothing to wear and he ought to give the invitation to one of his friends, whose wife can afford better clothing. Her husband is upset by her reaction and asks how much a suitable dress would cost. She thinks about it carefully and tells him that 400 francs will be enough. Her husband quietly balks at the sum but agrees that she may have the money. As the day of the party approaches, Matilda starts to behave oddly. She confesses that the reason for her behavior is her lack of jewels. Monsieur Losset suggests that she wear flower, but she refuses, implores her to visit Madame Fossier and borrow something from her. Madame Fossier agrees to lend Matilda her jewels, and Matilda selects a diamond necklace. She was overcome with gratitude at Madame Fossier's generosity. At party, Matilda is the most beautiful woman in attendance. Everyone notices her. She is intoxicated by the attention and has an overwhelming sense of self-satisfaction. At 4 a.m., she finally looks for Monsieur Losel, who has been dozing for hours in a deserted room. He clocks her bare shoulder in a wrap and cautions her to wait inside, away from the cold night air, while he fetches a cab, but she is ashamed at the shabbiness of her wrap and follows Monsieur Losel outside. They walk for a while before hailing a cab. When they finally return home, Matilda is saddened that night has ended. As she removes her wrap, she discovers that her necklace no longer around her neck. In panic, Monsieur Lucille goes outside and retraces their step. Terrified, she sits and waits for him. He returns home much later in an evening, greater panic. He has not found the necklace. He instructs her to write to Madame Fossier and said that she has broken the clasp of the necklace and is getting it mended. They continue to look for the necklace. After a week, Monsieur Lucille says that they have to see about replacing it. They visit many jewelers, searching for a similar necklace, and finally find one. It cost 40,000 francs, although the jewelers say he will give it to them for 36,000. The Lossier spent a week scraping up money from all kinds of sources, mortgaging the rest of their existence. After 3 days, Monsieur Lossel purchased the necklace. When Matilda returns the necklace in its case to Madame Fossier, Madame Fossier is annoyed at how long it has taken to get it back, but does not open the case to inspect it. Matilda is relieved. The Lossier began to live in a life of crippling poverty. They dismiss their servant and move into an even smaller apartment. Monsieur Lossier works 3 jobs, and Matilda spent all her time doing the heavy housework. The misery lasts 10 years, but at the end they have repaid their financial debts. Matilda's extraordinary beauty is now gone. She looks just like the other women of poor household. They are both tired and irrevocably damaged from these years of hardship. One Sunday, while she is out for a walk, Matilda spots Madame Fossier. Feeling emotional, she approaches her and offers greetings. Madame Fossier does not recognize her, and when Matilda identifies herself, Madame Fossier cannot help but exclaim that she looks different. Matilda said that the change was on her account and explained to her the long saga of losing the necklace, replacing it, and working for 10 years to repay the debt. At the end of her story, Madame Fossier clasps her hand and tells Matilda the original necklace was just costume jewelry and not worth anything. So this is the story of the necklace by Guy de Maupassant. And there is only 2 characters, Madame and Matilda. So we have see that how a woman who surrendered before her desire and sustained a big loss, while the one who had given them a debt, even the appearance is deceptive. The reality of Matilda's situation is that she's neither wealthy nor part of social class of which she feels she is a deserving member. But Matilda does everything in her power to make her life appear different from how it is. She lives in an illusory world where her actual life does not match the ideal life she has in her head. She believes that her beauty and charm make her worthy of greater things. The party is a triumph because of the first time her appearance matches the reality of her life. She is prettier than the other woman sought after by the man, and generally admired and flattered by all. Her life in the few short hours of the party is as she feels it should be. However, beneath the rightness and something match of appearance and reality, as the truth and appearance took a great deal of scheming and work. The bliss of her evening was not achieved without angst, and the reality of her appearance is much different than it seems. Her wealth and class are simply illusion, and other people are easily deceived. The deception of appearance is highlighted by Madame Forcier necklace, which appears to be made of diamond but is actually nothing more than a costume jewelry. The fact it comes from Madame Forcier jewelry box give it the illusion of richness and value. Had Madame Monsieur Lucille suggest that Matilda wear fake jewels, the surety have been scoffed at the idea, just as she scoffed at his suggestion to wear flower. Furthermore, the fact that Madame Forcier is Matilda's view. So these are the illusion, the danger of martyrdom, how they sacrifice their earning, and at last the perceive what it became and what had it come out. So this is the illusion of man, how a person or a human being live in a life of illusion, how he deceive herself, how he, by the way of deception, she lost all of her money and charm also. So I think this is a very beautiful piece of short story, The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant, and I hope you will enjoy this short story. It is full of lesson and a moral teaching also. Thank you.